Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels, where my guest tonight is Matthew Rosenberg, returning, this time without Tyler Boss. But, I'm told that he's doing all sorts of work right now, though I noticed he had time to do your podcast.
He did. He did my podcast last week, but I really had to bully him into doing that.
Well, and you guys go way back.
We do. We
It
do.
was like the family like guilt thing. You went
Yeah.
Tyler.
Yeah. I also because of the way the funding on our book works, the money, although it's his money, it comes to me first. It comes to the original.
Oh.
So yeah, I've never threatened to withhold money from him, but I think it's understood that he has to
It's understood.
do what I say or he can't eat. I think that's understood. I think he gets it.
You could just hold it over his head. You wouldn't, but
I would never. I would never. But yes,
never.
it's 100% over his head, and he should be afraid of me at all times. And that's just, that's how I like it. That's a good relationship to have with your artist.
I mean, you guys are not just artists. You guys go way back. You were friends from, you were what, Forbidden Planet together, didn't you?
Forbidden Planet. We worked at a comic shop together. Yeah.
So, I mean, crazy. So you guys are still doing What's the Furthest Place from Here? And
We
one of
are.
my favorite books, Four Kids
Tyler's-
Walk into a Bank.
I believe Tyler is drawing issues tonight, and that's why he can't be here. He is
Well, I mean, in that
wrapping issue
case,
22.
chain him to the damn desk.
he's burning away on it. But yeah.
Um, he has a new book called "You'll Do Bad Things." That we got to plug it really quick because
Yes.
it looks cool.
It's great.
Stories of a famous true crime writer shockingly come to life in a string of grisly serial murders. But we're going to talk more about your new book that you went off without him.
Yeah, we went off without each
mean-
other. We should talk more about my book because I showed up to the podcast and he didn't, so he doesn't.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We're taking everyone down with us. You were kind enough to send the first issue out. I read it this morning, and fuck, Matthew, are you good?
Oh, that's very kind. I would.
It was quite the pleasure to read. Yes.
Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah, I think most of it lies on Stefano Landini, who draws the book. He is amazing and super talented and whatever. But I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah. Give us the front counter pitch, because I want to be careful not to spoil stuff. So
Sure,
hearing
sure.
your pitch will give me a feel.
I mean, I look, I haven't talked about the book much. It's just been announced. It
Right.
comes out March 26th. So I may spoil stuff.
Day after my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
So thank you.
We did that on purpose.
I figured.
We knew that and we planned that. We've been
Exactly.
The book's been done for 11 months and we were like, well, I guess
all of
it's
it's been done. So for my birthday, you'll send me the future issues.
Yeah, we'll send you
So I can
all
read
of it.
them.
And we held on to it. And
I'm
wanted it to
gonna
come
hold
on
you
your
up.
birthday.
I'm gonna hold you up for that.
All right.
You get the email on like the 20th saying
It's
25th. I expect
coming
the
up.
other PDFs to be in my inbox.
So we're taking everyone down with us is the story of it's set in a sort of James Bondish 1960s 70s James Bondish world of super spies and mad scientists and villains. And our story follows Annalise, who is the 13-year-old daughter of the world's greatest mad scientist, and she lives in seclusion on an island with her father and his robot bodyguards. And one day, the world's most famous spy, Alastair Rook, finds out where they are, and her life is upended. And it is about Annalise and her robot bodyguard setting off on their own together for the first time and deciding who they want to be in this world, whether she wants to follow in the path of her father's footsteps, which she just learned about, or she wants to chase a normal life, which she's never had before. And so that's really what the book is.
Okay, as since you've introduced Alastair Rook, I get to ask a question that I might not have otherwise.
Sure.
Was it you or your artist? I'm gonna scroll back to remember his name because it's not Tyler.
Stefano
Was it your
Landini.
call or Stefano's call to essentially make him
Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds, yeah.
um, no
See, I didn't
comment.
have to come up with a name. You
He's
knew
not.
exactly where I was going.
He's not. For legal reasons, he is not Burt Reynolds.
Totally not Burt
He's
Reynolds.
totally not Burt Reynolds. Any resemblance is a coincidence. I wanted him to be a kind of, we were going for a kind of 60s, 70s sex symbol vibe for him. And I think Burt Reynolds is like great for that. Like 1970s Burt Reynolds is a character, is a creation that is so of its time and so wonderful and so great. And then you see it now and you're like, oh, they were really into this. And I think he's a great actor and I really love Burt Reynolds, but he's a certain sex symbols are very of their era, and he was one that I was like, he's very of his era in a great way. And so we wanted to pay loving tribute to him. It's not specifically him. I sent Stefano a bunch of sort of characters that I was like, these are a lot of the influences, and
They
he
just all
leaned.
happened to be played by Burt Reynolds.
They were all, I was like, what about
Smokey
Cannonball Run?
and...
What about, yeah. Um, no, but I think Stefano just sort of gravitated towards a certain design, and then Roman on the colors sort of leaned into it too. So he has a Burt Reynolds vibe for sure, which is.
I mean, to be fair, in some of these pictures, he looks a little bit like a couple of different versions of Alfred I've seen through the years. So they might just be Batman fans. I mean,
yeah, he could be all over the place. He's when you read the book, he's going to become his own thing. He's not going to be Burt Reynolds, but there is a little bit of a Smokey and the Bandit energy to him, and we like that.
Okay. And you just said it was 60s, and I didn't actually place it that.
It's not exactly 60s.
Like it was much newer.
It's the we had a lot of discussions about it. We call it sort of a hyper time where it's all of these things. It's an alternate history, so it's not this. I wouldn't say it's 60s. In my head, it sort of exists in the 70s, but like we didn't want to do the like everyone's got butterfly collars and bell bottoms. Like that just feels trite and too easy, and so it's kind of a 70s vibe, but removed from time. So there's certain things that as it goes, you'll be like, oh, that's kind of a 70s thing, but there's also things that feel pretty 80s and pretty 90s and pretty current. And that's all by design to sort of remove it from time. And we're just grabbing things from eras we like to be like, this isn't our world. Like I like a story that sort of exists outside pretending to be our world. And so that's sort of a goal.
Seems to do a real good job of taking those elements of things that you would might see sort of in your 70s or 80s or 90s sort of spy flicks and things like that, and sort of mixing it in with not making you feel like you're just jumping back into those time periods. So
yeah, I feel like I love when people do the period pieces well, it's seamless. And like I always think like a show like Stranger Things does really good. It's like, oh, it's 80s, but it's not always in your face with it. It just has captured a lot of things. But then there's things that do it really clunky where you're just like, oh, they're using the time period as a gimmick or it's a joke or whatever. And we didn't want to do that. We just were like, there's some reasons why we need it to sort of feel like the past a little bit, but there's also reasons why we don't need to talk about it all that much. So it's outside of time is the sort of way we put it.
Just noticed that it's listed as a Tiny Onion book.
It's not a Tiny Onion book. Tiny Onion. Well, I mean,
production by Tiny Onion Inc.
Yes.
I guess.
So Steve Fox and Eric Harburn, my editors, are employees of Tiny Onion. And Courtney Menard, who does production on the book, is Tiny Onion's head of production. So like they handle the production services on the book and the editorial. But it's not Tiny Onion.
No, it just caught my attention because I think if you was Ashcan Press and Tiny Onion is a completely different thing.
It is a mostly different thing. James is one of my close friends and we work together a lot on stuff. Yeah, I mean, Tiny Onion's a versatile company. They make books, but they're also a production company and a production services company. And we Steve Fox, who's the editor on Department of Truth and a bunch of James's and World Tree and a bunch of James's books, is a very good old friend of mine and a great editor. And so I wanted him to edit it. And Eric Harburn, who is the editor on Something That's Killing Children and that stuff, a lot of the Boom stuff for James, is an editor who I've known for years, and we've always tried to work together, and it never worked out. And so I jumped at the chance to work with him on this. And the head of production at Tiny Onion, Courtney Menard, who designs our books and puts everything together and is a real, the thing that keeps us all alive and functioning. She is a very dear old friend because she is Tyler Boss's wife.
Oh, well, I
So
mean,
she's done.
that means she's practically family.
She is like family. I've slept in her house for weeks on end. I was the witness at her wedding, and she's done variant covers for most of my books. Like, yes,
Right.
she works. James pays her salary, and I implore him to let me use her services, and she does, and
There
she's
you go.
amazing. So, yeah.
That leads me a direction that I hadn't even thought of earlier. Um, you, James, a number of people in the last couple of years have you still distribute through some of the bigger main channels, but you have your Ashcan Press, he has Tiny Onion.
Mhm.
You're doing a lot more in-house, a lot more I mean, I don't know if Ashcan, have you done anything with Ashcan that's not you or Tyler?
No.
Not yet.
No, it's
Or
just
is
me.
it even?
It's just me. Tyler's book is a Tiny Onion production, more fully than
Okay.
mine. Like Tyler
Okay.
is You'll Do Bad Things is in-house. They handle everything for Tyler. They don't handle everything for me. They just handle some elements of it. But no, yeah, I don't want to be a publisher. I have no interest in publishing. There are good publishers. There are amazing publishers who allow me to publish and give me the opportunity to publish, and I don't want to build a thing up from scratch. Um,
Okay.
so, this is an Image book. I'm super proud to be at Image. I love Image dearly as a company. Even when they didn't publish me, I loved Image dearly as a company. I love them as an idea. I love the books they put
Right.
out. Um, but I like having a conduit to do things that Image wouldn't have an interest in doing, or do things that are a little whatever. And so we do, you know, sell things to directly to the reader and take everyone else out of the equation a little bit, or we do, whatever. But mostly
You
mostly
have
it's
a
just an Image
knack
book.
actually for having sales that I can't pass up.
Oh, well,
It
thank you.
seems like at least a couple of times a year that you'll put something in your newsletter that I'm like, fuck, I have to spend $20 more on something that I have, but it's so
I'm
cool.
I'm sorry about that. I
No,
don't
you're
mean
not.
I don't mean to do that to people.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I really like. I mean, it's funny for me. I grew up in an era of like, I'm a punk rock kid. I grew up listening to punk rock records, and that was in a time where like you'd order records from the band, or you'd order records from the record direct from the record label, and someone from one of the bands was running the mailing for the record label. So you'd get a nice note, and
Right.
you'd get some
Well,
free
and
stuff.
that was something that I was going to make certain I pointed out. You also, I have never ordered something from you, and it's weird because the last thing I ordered I still haven't opened because I got the map set
Oh, yeah, yeah.
when you put it on sale, but like I've been afraid to open it because I just don't want to separate it. I don't want it to get so it's like
Sure.
when I figure out where I'm going to frame it or whatever is when I'll open it. So I don't even know what you tossed in that box, but like every box I get from you has at
I
least four things in it that I didn't order,
Oh,
but
well,
I'm
I
totally jazzed to get.
I try to do that. I will say we've had to in the past bunch of months, we had to step up and have friends handle a lot of fulfillment. So my friends at
Right.
Third Eye Comics in Annapolis actually fulfill Not everything, but some of the stuff, just because I live in a New York City apartment and the amount of stuff that was sort of coming and going was
You mean a New York City apartment doesn't have room
I
for a
don't
full fulfillment center?
I know it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Man,
It's
I thought
crazy.
New York City apartments were mistaken for Amazon
That's
warehouses.
that's what we're known for is our
Uh,
spacious apartments. Yeah. Um, and so sometimes now, like I'm always like, I'll throw some free stuff in it, and they're always like, but it's your stuff, and we're not really authorized to do that. And I'm like, yeah, that would be really complicated in case you gave someone like something that definitely shouldn't go out. So we don't always give out a ton of free stuff anymore, but we're trying, and I'm building in a system to do that now, where you get
Right.
cool free stuff always when you order.
Here's the box of free stuff. Put 3 items from the free stuff box in.
Yeah, yeah. It's so yeah. I also don't want to go to Third Eye and fill their warehouse with like my junk and be like, just give people this. It's like a weird. Yeah. I mean, I'm just weird, and I'll go out and buy single issues that I want to read, or people send me books. And then when I read it, if I a lot of times like I don't keep single issues anymore. I just don't have the space for it. So like when people mail or stuff, sometimes I'll just send them other people's books thrown in there. I'll just be like, I read
Yeah.
this, it was cool. You should read it.
I think the first thing I ordered from you guys, I got like 2 books that were yours and signed, and then like 2 books that I'm like, oh, that's cool. One of them I'd read already, and I'm just like, oh, Matthew must like this too.
Yeah, yeah. It's always just stuff. I end up with a lot of comics. I'll go to a shop and they'll be like, here, I mail order from shops a lot, and they'll send me
Right.
free stuff. And so I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna pass that on.
Well, and you're at
I don't need that.
DC for a lot of stuff, so they probably send you way too many comp copies of various things.
They do. They do. My house is full of boxes. When
Hey,
DC's comps program is very kind, very generous. But when
yeah,
you write 5 books a month for them and you live in a New
right.
York City apartment, um
Well, I mean, you could do the Chip Zdarsky route. Did you see what he did a
I
couple months
did.
ago?
I did
That
create
was kind of
the
cool.
CompsCon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was jealous. I was like, should I drive up for that? And then I was like, I can't get these across the border. If I show up with
No,
6 long
no, just
boxes, they're not gonna.
you used to work at Forbidden Planet. Just do it there. Do your own.
Yeah, yeah, I
Don't even
could
announce it. Just show up one
just show up with a
afternoon with a
box.
long box and say, "Who wants a comic? I'll sign
Yeah,
it."
I should do it. Me and my good friend Brandon Montclair, who was an old Vertigo editor and a DC editor, and wrote Rocket Girl at Image, and was the creator of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, and he's awesome, and he's just a New York City buddy. We always talked about doing. They have New York City street fairs where they'll block off a street and they'll have people who sell CDs and trucks making food and all this stuff. And we were always like, we should get a table and just get rid of all the comps we have. So we were always talking about just having a box. And then I was like, I don't know that people wouldn't be weirded out that it was all just like the same comic. That it's just like 50 versions of DC versus Vampires 5, I don't think is going to
I,
get too many kids
I,
excited.
I don't actually think that if you were either making it cheap or giving it away, you would have much trouble.
Yeah, no, it's true. I get jealous. I know like a lot of and we have them in New York, but a lot of like people in other towns and have the little free libraries,
Mhm.
and I just don't have any near me where I live. If I did, I would go and drop off comps every couple weeks and be like,
I
here's some
mean,
books.
I,
But it's
I
it's
would
a
be
hike to get
willing.
to one.
I would be willing to bet if you just found your local New York Public Library branch, the
They want
YA
trades. They don't want
librarian would
they don't want single issues. They only want trades. I've
they
asked.
won't even take them for free?
They don't have a use for them. They're like, we don't. They were very kind, but yeah, no.
Okay.
I know some libraries
Okay.
do. A lot of libraries do,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I know the
not.
libraries around me would be all over them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think half the libraries around me actually like contact paper the covers so that they can check them out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And even if they don't do that, they'll put them in the library sales or whatever,
Hmm.
quarter a piece.
Yeah.
For that matter, a
I
friend of
don't have a
mine
good
just
outlet.
ran a mini con out of her library. She would have just put them on a table for come to the Comic Con at the library, pick a comic.
Oh, that's awesome. That's super fun.
there you
You
go.
know. Um, so I'm digging this. What are you doing at DC right now? I feel like you're still doing something. You got the
I write the
vampire
DC versus
book right now?
vampires. Yeah, that is all
I
I'm
finally got the
doing
first
currently.
volume of that. I haven't read
Oh,
it yet. I'm
oh,
sorry,
that's
because
okay.
like
Thank you for picking it up.
it's it's you and I want to read it, but it's vampires and I
It is
don't know
vampires.
how much.
How much you like
Just
vampires?
I've
You're
never
afraid of
been a
vampires?
vampire guy.
Well, sure, sure. That's fair. Um,
But
Batman's in it.
I actually had a guy at a bookstore in Indianapolis sell me it.
Oh yeah.
And he succeeded because it was you. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
if this is the book that you're just because I when I go to a comic shop that I've never been to before,
Hmm.
I'll ask them to sell me something.
Sure.
Pick something that you like and sell it to me.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, that was a good
and
choice. Good, good
I
job on
let
that
them
shop.
and
What shop? Do you know what shop it was?
I can't remember right now, but I bet you I could find out before we're done
Well, there
because
you
I
go.
keep a map of the show or the shops that I go to.
Oh, that's cool. Um,
Um,
yeah, DC vs. Vampires is, it's a superhero comic. It's fully a superhero comic. It's, Green Batman and Green Arrow and Batgirl and all of those folks fighting an invasion, but the invasion is vampires. And so there's a horror element and there's all that stuff, but I have a lot of fun doing it. I really like it. I like doing an Elseworld story because it keeps people on their toes. There's a lot of things that we do where people are really caught off guard because you wouldn't be able to do them in the regular DC continuity, and that's really fun. And I did the first volume. James helped out a little bit, and that was great. And he sort of set us up for the book. And then Otto Schmidt draws it, and me and Otto did Hawkeye together at Marvel, which is one of my favorite books that I've ever done. And
oh, it's fantastic.
yeah, I think Otto's amazing. And so just getting him to draw crazy, depraved stuff and like Wonder Woman caving in people's heads and, Green Arrow riding Swamp Thing, things like that I'm like, yeah, let's just do it. Like, let's just make a fun book that makes us laugh and is chaotic and crazy. And so, yeah, it's super fun. So right now we're in the middle of DC versus Vampires World War V, which is the sequel. There was a spin-off before called DC versus Vampires All Out War. That was me
All
and
right.
uh, my buddy Alex Packnadell co-wrote with me.
I love Alex.
He's great.
Alex is amazing. Yeah.
He's great. He's great. A good old friend of mine. And so now we're back for the second volume, and yeah, it's really fun. And that's all I'm doing at DC at the moment. I have a lot of stuff that I've been putting off doing of my own, and I just couldn't really put it off anymore. And sort of, we're taking a rundown with us as the first of a wave of books that's coming from me that are creator-owned books. Um, and so I just have to put my time there. And DC are amazing, and I love them, and they've been so kind to me. And I just said to them, hey, like I have to pull back a little bit and do less. But I always sort of, I would love to keep a foot in the door at DC as long as they would like to have me. And they were, kind enough to let me do this book and ask me about a couple other things that were sounded awesome. But I was like, I don't think I have the time, or I don't think I'm the right fit. Um, and so I had to pass on a couple things, which is always hard when they're cool, but that is the difficult thing about having finite time in a day. Um, but I've already talked to them about when Vampires Wraps doing something else, and I told them a couple ideas, and they were very excited. So I'm gonna be starting on something else soon, I think, or starting getting that in motion of trying to pitch them a thing, do a more fleshed out pitch of it and see where we can go. But um my plate is very full, and I just have to sort of explore my own stuff right now, just because I think it's a really good time in comics. I think people are really craving new things and new stories, and so that's what I'm craving making. So it seems to line up well. So that's what
I
I'm doing.
mean, you will
Great.
never get me to say no to more of your
Oh, thank you.
creator-owned stuff. It's what hooked me to begin with. Um, so anything that you can tease? I mean, no titles, but like what kind of books do you have in the
No,
pipeline? No,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
fair.
it's a lot of the stuff. I had a deal. Um, the folks at Substack were kind enough to give me what they call a creative grant to go make stuff. Um, and everyone who got that structured it differently. There's a bunch of different people who got it. It was me and Scott Snyder and James Tynan and Brian K. Vaughan and Brian Bendis and Kelly Thompson. Just a ton of great people got these um, grants to go make stuff, and everyone structured their thing differently. And I decided that I wanted to just take all the money and give it to artists to make books with the idea that we're going to make books where people are paid well enough that they can take their time to make the best book they can, and it's not bad for their health and it's not bad for their mental health and it's not bad for the creativity of the book. And so we're been slow burning a bunch of stuff with a bunch of different people. Um, and now it's all sort of coming together. So, I've teased a little bit of what it was on Substack a while ago, and some of those things are still a ways off, a year or two off, and some of those things are going to come pretty quick and people are going to be surprised, and some of them have changed shape a little, but um, that's sort of all I can say for now. Just that I have a bunch more books coming, and one of the books we have 175 pages drawn already. It's not even announced yet.
Okay.
So like, we're already
So
into volume 2 of the book, but it just we want to just do it right and take our time. So
see, I mean, I mean, obviously, I only love it when they can get paid in a way to do it that it's like realistic to do it. But I love when I hear stuff like that somebody's deep into a book, even if it's coming out single issues, because the number of
yeah,
times, and I get it more when it's small publishers or independent books, but the number of times that like a big two book has gone off schedule, throwing off entire calendars, and I'm sitting there going, "You have oodles of money. Why
sure.
wasn't that done before
Yeah.
you solicited it?"
Yeah, it's as someone who's been inside both of those machines, I sort of understand the mechanics of it, and I understand, a lot of none of it is done the way I think editors would like. None of that stuff is done the way I think editors wish it was done, but they are accountable to major corporations and
Right.
boards and shareholders, and so there's, quarterly profits, and you can't
No,
be just making
those are the
things.
people that I'm upset with, is the
Of
major
course, yeah, yeah.
corporations, boards, and shareholders that don't go, oh, the better way to run my business would be because I can.
Yeah. The dream scenario would be a Marvel or DC takes, you know, has an entire second staff that can start building 2 years out and sort of is like, this is stuff we're doing for 2028, 2029, and do that in a way where, because there's just certain creators who can't work in that system because the system is an assembly line and they're not assembly line creators. And so there's, amazing artists who they just can't really give work to. There's a great writers who just can't handle the grind of it. And they're just closed off from that stuff, which is unfortunate if you're a fan of the big two, and it is a blessing if you're a fan of those people doing independent work. And um, I'll leave those creators themselves to decide whether or not it's a blessing or curse to them. But in independent books, everything is usually done so skin of the teeth and so bare bones because there's just no money. Like we're making Image books. So Image doesn't pay us to make books. They don't do that. That's not how Image works. It's your book. It's your company. They are a conduit for all these things and they help you do all these things, but they are not a company that is paying people to make comics. They are putting out comics for people and allowing them to make comics in the best way possible. And so there's a lot of times where people are making Image books where they're like, I need this to go as fast as I can because it's the only way I'm paying my bills. Like I need this to go. And so in that pipeline of that system, yeah, we would be in a very bad place if I didn't have this grant from Substack to allow people to just sit down and take their time and make these books. And in doing that, it's been really nice also because I'm one of the artists I work with, we're pretty far into a series. And then he was like, hey, I just got this call to do this really cool thing that, just pays a ton of money. And it would just be a month and a half, but it's kind of like a dream come true project. And he was like, I hate to drop this in your lap. And I was like, our book's not announced. Go do it, man. Like, we're not here to get in the way of things. Like, and he was like,
Right.
the artist was like, really? That's crazy. And I was like, you're gonna come back to our book happy and fulfilled that you went and did this thing, and you're gonna do better pages for it, and you're gonna like our book more, and you're not gonna be resentful. Like, go do it, of course. And he did, and he came back and he was like, oh man, it was really great to do it. I'm so glad to be back on our book. And he's like, I missed it. And I was like, that's awesome. I love to hear that. And yeah, I mean, we're just trying to make a creatively a really positive space in comics, which is, the commerce of comics makes that difficult often. And so it's nice to have the luxury to do that.
Well, that's great.
That, yeah, no, I mean, again, when I dream about being a publisher and or the type of publisher that I think could absolutely shake up the industry, it's the one that decided that they had enough money to invest and do things like that. Let's make the good comic, get it done or get way ahead, and then start pushing it,
Yeah,
publicizing it, blah, 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 rather than, okay, let's make 20 pages, see if people are interested, and then make 20 more.
sure. Yeah, yeah. It's hard. Comics takes a long time, and people I remember from being working in a shop when The Walking Dead was all the rage, and people would come in and buy those compendiums that
Right.
were like 2 or 3 years of The Walking Dead in one book, and they would go home and read them in a weekend and be like, well, "Where's the next one?" And we'd be like, "It's not out," and they'd be like, "Oh, cool. What day does it come out?" And I'd be like, "It comes out in 3 years." Like,
Right.
you just bought a new book,
Right.
and
Right.
they were
Right.
so
Right.
confused, and they were like, "Why?" And I was like,
You,
"Someone has
you,
to draw
you
all of those."
right. Right.
Yeah.
It's hard. Comics is fast and nimble, except it still has the physical limitations of humans. So it's a much faster, more nimble medium than everything but live television and
Yeah.
most
All
music,
right.
most
I have
prose.
to ask just because I don't get excited. Yeah. I don't get excited about movies very often because I am very much a comics guy.
Sure.
But when I saw that you guys had not only optioned Four Kids Walk into a Bank, but that it was actually going to get made, I got excited because while I don't think there's any way on film that you can do some of the crazy, wonderful things that Tyler Boss did artistically, you just
Sure.
can't get the angles right. Um, your script I think is absolutely cinematic.
Oh, well,
So
thank you.
I have the utmost confidence that will be a great movie. How did it feel to get that call on a little thing that's yours?
That we were making it. Honestly, it's a very weird feeling. People don't necessarily know this, I guess, but when you make a comic, especially at a certain level, like pretty much when the comic comes out, you get inquiries. Like we have film studios and producers and people reaching out about we're taking down with us now. Like no one's read it.
Right.
40 people on Earth have read it, and we're getting inquiries. Like, can we option this? Can we buy it? Is it available to read? Is it available to look at? Um, which is cool. And a lot of stuff gets optioned. And that is the Hollywood system. They buy up things for themselves in the hopes that maybe one day they'll make it, and they buy up things to stop their competitors from doing the same.
Right.
And you never know which you're in, whether you're there for them to make it or if they're there to block someone else from making it. Um, but because of that, most stuff doesn't get made. It's like buying lottery tickets. So,
Right.
your first couple years, and my family has a film TV background, so I sort of understood that from go, but it's still daunting when you start when my first book, We Can Never Go Home, came out, big famous people were emailing, their reps were calling, and you'd be like, oh my God, this is it. And you can only do that so many times before you're like, okay, I get it. I get it. Like you buy it and then you have it for 2 years and then it goes back on the market and someone else buys it for less money and they have it for a year and then it goes back on the market. And that's just the system. And it's nice. It's a little pocket cash for everyone. And it's a flattering email. And you take a bunch of meetings where people say really absurd, hyperbolically nice things to you. Um, but you sort of, to protect yourself, you say the thing which is pretty true, which is that like they don't actually ever make anything. Like almost nothing ever gets made. And statistically speaking, of the stuff that's optioned, the stuff that's purchased, almost none of it ever gets made. That's just a fact. Um, and someone said once, like, oh, well, it's like baseball. It's like if everyone who showed up to tryouts made the team. And I was like, no, it's like if everyone who played Little League thought they were making the going to be on the Yankees. I was like, it's not. The ratio is insane. Like it's everyone who owned a baseball mitt suddenly thought they were going to be on the on the Dodgers. That's not how it works. But to protect yourself emotionally, you hit a point where you say, I'll believe it when I sit down in the theater. I'll believe it. And this was a weird one because our production company, our producing partners, Picture Start, were amazing and really aggressive and really believe in the book and love the book and prove to us time and time again that they do. And yet there were still a half a dozen times where like things would get interesting and me and Tyler would have to be like, but they don't actually ever make anything. But I don't know, that sounds serious. And then it would die. And we'd be like, okay, yeah, that's what we assumed. And then Picture Start would be like, but we're going to try this now. We're going to do this. Or like, it died at one point and then Point Grey, which is Seth Rogen's company, came on to co-produce, and we were like, oh, that's cool. Like Seth, and had a call with them, and they were great. Uh, and then you're like, oh, that's cool. And then it sort of died again. And you're like, okay, it sort of died again. When you finally get the call that it's like, okay, they're gonna make it, there was so much with the funding and the financing not going through, and people dropping out, and people changing, and that literally we knew how close we were because like there was a cast and people had signed contracts and people were location scouting, but we didn't have everything locked. And I was like, I don't know if it's going to happen. And so we didn't find out that they were making the movie until they started shooting on a Monday, and on Thursday before they were like, shooting is going to start on Monday. Like they're like everything's in place. And so that was the moment. So when that's the situation, you sort of have a very weird, like, it's so much adrenaline so many times that when it finally happens, you're just like, huh, that's strange. There was no like popping champagne, and not that I drink champagne, but there was no celebration besides like me and Tyler just having a surreal kind of like, wow, that's weird. That's cool. Um,
And how about when you got to go to the set?
The set is very different. The set was very cool. The set was really special for me because it was spending time with a lot of people who I know. Like Frankie Shaw, our director, she has been working on this for years trying to get it made, and she has been so passionate and so cool and so driven to do it that like going and seeing her work and hang out with her for a bit and like talk to her about it was just really like it was very cool, but it was almost not cool for me. Like I was just really happy for her, kind of, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah.
I think it was different for Tyler. It's a different feeling, um, only because like Tyler was really in awe that like we watched and he was like, they got a car that looks like the car I drew. Like they got the same type of model car that I drew. And I was like, yeah. And then we got to the house and he was like, oh yeah, that looks like the house. And I was like, yeah, it does. And he was like, that house is like modeled after my grandmother's house. And so he was just kind of like, we went inside and he was just kind of like, whoa, that's really strange and surreal. And it felt less surreal to me, but it was really, I mean, it's really great. It's a lot of people worked really hard to make it happen, and you get to be there and just shake everyone's hand and be like, thank you for working so hard and congratulations. I mean, it's as much their thing as it is ours. So like
Right.
we're not coming in like conquering heroes being like, you made this thing for us. We're coming in being like, we're so happy you're making your thing. Like,
No,
congrats.
I
We're like,
just I know that it's different. I mean, some comic creators like don't want their stuff. One in particular famously never likes his stuff adapted.
sure. Yeah.
Um,
I think
and for other people, like they want it adapted, but only if it's completely faithful. And others are like, oh, it's just really cool. Somebody saw something in what I did that they could do something with.
yeah, I'm not I get the wanting it to be faithful. And like, don't get me wrong, like we're producers on the movie. Like me and Tyler are
Right.
both producers. Like we get every iteration of a script is available to us. Every production meeting is available to us. And I just was kind of like, I don't need all this. I'm making comics. I have a job. I have a day job. Like this is all of you, this is your day job to like read this stuff and look at this stuff and be in these meetings. This actually isn't my day job. So like I'm gonna tap out on a lot of it. I gave notes, and when they wanted opinions, I was happy to give them, and they were very generous with that. But also, most of the time, I was like, "You guys are filmmakers. Do make the movie you want to make." Like the way I see it, and maybe this is crazy, is like me and Tyler set out to make a comic.
Right.
That was it, and we did it, and we're really proud of it, and that's
You
done.
didn't just make a comic; you made a near perfect comic.
Well,
I mean that.
I've got some notes, but either way, like
I said near.
Sure. Either way, like we're done. Like we did that. We've moved on. We're making What's the First Place from here. We're making You'll Do Bad Things. We're taking everyone down with us. Me and Tyler are co-writing a book together right now. Another book that, he's not going to draw, but we're going to write together, and we're on to the next thing.
What is this that the artist doing writing now?
Tyler's
tell
a better
him to
writer
stay
than
in
I
his
am.
place, man.
Most of the time,
I know. I love
yeah.
Dead Dog. I mean, no, I don't know that he's a better writer than you. I know he's a good writer because Dead Dog's Bite is amazing.
You'll Do Bad Things is so good. I'm like kind of low key annoyed at him. I love him to death, but I'm also just like, fuck, man, like my life would be easier if your book sucked. Like it would just be nice, but it doesn't. It's great. He's great, and Adriana, who draws his book, is great. So, but I described it to someone at the movie as like, it's like we made a cookbook and now someone else is making the cake. And we show up, and I'm so happy that the cake is getting made, and I'm so happy that they used our cookbook. And if they had their own ingredients, which they are, cool, that's great. I'm excited to see how it works. I would love to go to the movie as a fan.
That is like the
sort of
and I love it because I like to imagine that if I ever had a creation that then was turned into something else, that I would look at it that way. But that's like one of the most down to earth, I mean, normally again, it's either, well, I'll take the money, but I don't even want to see it because it's not my baby.
No, I mean,
it's oh my God.
Yeah, no, it is and it isn't my baby, it is and
Right.
it isn't. It started with me and someone else has it. I mean, maybe it's just like, I don't know. I spent years working at the Big Two, where I'm writing characters of the people who created them died when I was young. Like, they're not my characters, and these characters will still be in comic books when I die. And you're just like, storytelling is the moment for me. That's what it is. Like I make comics. And
you didn't get the memo about Batman?
or no, I did. Yeah.
They decided that he's stale.
He's done. Yeah, they're gonna end him.
The 6 titles a month, they just all crashed in sales at once, and they just kill him off for real this time.
Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. Hush 2 is going to be the last one. Yeah, Hush 2. Jeff and Jim are going to do the last Batman comic, and then cool.
It's Hush 2. Hush wins.
Hush wins. Yeah, he kills him on page 10, and that's the end of the book, and it's cool. Yeah, no, I think and I think part of that is it for me. Like but also, look, I love movies. I watch movies all the time. I've watched movies my whole life. I was raised by screenwriters. Like I love movies so dearly. It's not what I do. I make comics. Like if I wanted to be a screenwriter, I would be in Hollywood.
Because you're cooler.
Comics. No, it's because comics are cooler. Like
that's my point.
It's a cooler medium. No, I'm not cooler just because I make
the cooler medium.
Yeah, I'm chasing the coattails of the cooler. Not always. But no, I just think comics are cooler. I like comics more, and so yeah, like I'm super excited they're making a movie. I'm super happy and I'm super flattered, and everyone's great, and I want the movie to be awesome, and I think it is going to be awesome, and I'm just going to keep making comics.
Liam Neeson until the premiere or whatever because you missed.
We are going to the premiere,
yeah. You'll have to tell us about that.
Yeah,
because I can't. I was going to ask you if he actually has a specific set of skills and whether you had to.
Of course he does. Of course he does. Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I've seen a lot of the footage with Liam, and he's obviously a legend and amazing, and We're super lucky to have him in the movie and whatever. But no, I didn't get to hang out with him in Ireland. We could have gone a week earlier and hung out and seen him, but my schedule
So I
didn't work
also
out.
now have to wait to find out whether he's a comic book fan and wants to be on 22 panels. I was
Sure, yeah.
hoping that you guys were
That
buddies.
he was going to come along instead of Tyler. Be like, no Tyler this week. Liam
No,
Neeson.
no, no. When he comes on the first time, he's got to come alone. The
Oh,
second
it's him. So
time, you guys
okay,
can come together.
that's fair. Well, you can shoot him an email.
I got my Qui-Gon questions.
Oh, we all have Qui-Gon questions. We all have our
Many
Qui-Gon questions.
Qui-Gon questions. Um,
Yeah, no, I would love nothing more than to talk to Liam about Qui-Gon for a while. I don't think Liam wants to talk to me about Qui-Gon for a long time, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We'll find out.
Um, Speaking of movies, the particularly impetus for me to reach out to you again, because I actually reached out to you in what, December, and you said wait a month because I'm about to announce a book, and I went okay.
Yeah,
Was I finally got around to the movie that you raved about last time,
yes.
Kid Detective. But I
Great.
got around
Great
to
movie.
it with and first I'm gonna say I have actually, since I watched it the first time, I think I've watched it last night was the seventh or eighth time. And I
Wow.
like it and I like it better each time. I feel
That's
like I catch another layer. But I'm still having trouble putting my finger on exactly what I like about it.
sure.
So I can like talk in six different directions and make it not make sense. But you were passionate about it when I brought it up again. You immediately were like, "I love that movie."
I too.
So distill for me, if for no other reason than so I can play the clip for the family members that didn't like it. What do you love about Kid Detective? Why did it grab you the way it grabbed you?
Um,
And spoilers are allowed. It's been out for
I'm
5 years.
I'm not gonna spoil it. I don't think there's a few things I think it does really well. One, I'm a big sucker for um nostalgia stories that don't just approach everything as being okay. Nostalgia comes from a place of sadness a lot of the time. Nostalgia comes from a place of weren't things better before? And I think we see a lot of nostalgia in pop culture that is like, things are great now, but weren't they fun before too? And I don't like that. I don't love that. And this year for me, or last year, I guess, like the big one was I saw the TV Glow was like a movie about nostalgia, and it's beautiful and it's really sad, and it's about broken people trying to remember if they were ever happy and if their lives were better or different before. And Kid Detective does a lot of that. It does a lot of this, like the story of a person who had promise, and that promise never materializes, and it's heartbreaking. But I also just like that it takes risks. It goes farther than you think it needs to. It goes darker than you think it needs to, but it also works as a detective story. Like there's such a gimmick to it that you could do it without it actually being a functional detective story. But it follows the template of like classic like 40s, 50s, 60s detective stories, that it's a functional like girl shows up and needs the detective's help and he's going to get into it, and it's that template with all these like funny, quirky, sad elements that would be enough in a normal movie. So I love that it's like structurally really sound, but also the dressing on it is really unique and fun and weird and different and like daring, I think. I think it's really like a brave movie because it gets real sad and real dark in places, but it's a comedy and it's really funny in
Right.
places.
And
And I'm always a
I,
sucker for a sad comedy.
I also loved that the town matched where he was. It was
Mhm.
this it
mentally,
was this
yeah.
pleasant it was this Pleasantville when he was the successful kid detective.
Yeah.
And when he couldn't solve the case and he spiraled down, the entire town
Yeah.
spiraled down with him. And then when he solved the case, the whole town was
Yeah.
roses again.
Yeah. 100%. It's great. It's a beautiful, I mean, it's a beautiful distillation of our relationship to where we are in our life, where we are in our life and the world around us. I think it's a really sweet, like when you're a kid and you're people think you're great, like it's great. And when you're a grown up and you feel lost in the world feels dark and overwhelming and is dark and overwhelming. And I just think it does all those things really well. It's a very fun movie.
Yeah, it definitely seems to resonate with a lot of the stories that you hear if you're just talking to people in general, where it's like, oh, I was like honors student when I was a kid, and then I grew up and I went to college and I wasn't an honor student or even
Yeah.
like anywhere near that. And, it took me a long time to realize that, I'm fairly normal and that's okay, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. The like the gifted child syndrome of being told how incredible you are and then becoming average is like devastating to kids. And I think that's such a fun narrative just to sort of study and discover and look into.
Yeah, I definitely really enjoyed that about the movie. I thought like going back onto like the whole sort of following this whole mystery plot. It's interesting because it really does follow the mystery plot, but also because of all that layering that you talk about, it always feels like it's throwing you a little bit off. Like
Yeah.
you're expecting like, I think one of the detectives that gets thrown around is Sam Spade or something like that,
Hmm.
where like
Sure.
you're expecting like our kid detective to run around and be this dashing hero, and that's really not who he is.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's funny because it follows a lot of the tropes of a classic detective story, but then it's not about a classic detective, and that's great. That's uh I love people, and it's a thing like in my new book, like we are both making fun of the James Bond sort of style story, but also it's a love letter to it. I love that stuff. Like I own every James Bond movie on DVD. Like I've seen them all a million times. I'm a super fan, but also like it's okay to poke fun at the things you love and that's how we examine them and that's how we learn why they're good. And so like the structure of a great spy story, you can also make fun of a great spy story in that structure. The structure of a great detective story, you can do as a terrible detective story and still make it good and interesting. And I think that's really I'm just a sucker for those kind of things always of people who both respect the source material and respect the influence, but also you know pay tribute to the archetypes, but also want to bend them and twist them and see where they can take them.
No, I think it's actually completely necessary. Um, I mean, you look at an Astro City or a Black Hammer or
Sure.
even a Watchman, Mr. Miracle,
Hmm.
and know that they love the superheroes first, and
Oh
then they
yeah.
do art. I mean, Astro City and Black Hammer are much more love letters,
Sure.
but you can see that Alan Moore at one point loved superheroes, like
Oh
loved
yeah.
superheroes. He wouldn't be able
100%.
to break them down the way he's not making fun of them. He's going, yeah, but
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
what
I think
if?
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
um,
I love Astro City and I love Black Hammer and I love that stuff. That I love the dissection of what we do. And at this point for me, like I love a good superhero comic, I love a good big two comic, but a lot of times people are kind of come in and do something different and break the mold on those a little bit. And whether it's like uh Tom King on Vision or
right.
Tom King and Gabe Walt on Vision or Fraction and Aha on Hawkeye or
Hawkeye.
like Mr. Miracle or all these books that you're like this is not what I expected this book to be, but it's still rooted in a love of superheroes and it's a deconstruction of them and it's a new understanding of them that comes from a place of love. I'm a big fan of that. It's very easy to do like I hate superheroes and this is my superhero book. And people do them
Right.
and they don't really do much for me.
Right.
Even something like The Boys, like Garth Ennis clearly has a respect and admiration for superheroes in The Boys, but also is like, but this is also
Yeah.
taking the piss out of that too.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe I think Ennis more. I mean, to me, it reads more like I have an appreciate. I love comics and I appreciate what superheroes have done for comics. But let's
Yeah, maybe.
pound the shit out of them.
Yeah, maybe, but still, like he knows his stuff, and I mean, he's written some amazing superhero comics and
Right. Well,
some really
has he done
disturbing ones.
superheroes other than
Sure. I mean, it depends on
he's
your
done
definition, but
Punisher
he's
and Midnighter, I think is
sure.
like
You
all the
know,
superheroes he's
but
done.
like, is Hitman
Oh,
a
that's true.
superhero? Sort
Hey, man.
of.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and he certainly hung out with superheroes from time to time.
yeah, yeah. And there's, there's a bunch of stuff like that, like Dog Welder and stuff. Like he comes in and does stuff every once in a while and plays in the world, and it's awesome when he does. He's the best at it.
Are you
Um,
reading Babs, the book he's doing
no,
at Ahoy right now?
I read everything in trade, so like
Okay.
I haven't read it
So
yet.
so so I think the last issue came out this week. So
Yeah, yeah. It'll be a
keep your
little bit.
eyes out for a couple months from now, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like his sword and sorcery
Oh
feminist
yeah.
feminist sword and sorcery deconstruction. It's fantastic and
I know.
hilarious and
It's pretty
yeah.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
first one. That's
Yeah. I love Garth stuff. I actually just read a couple weeks ago one of I don't I have to stop myself because I'll just read all of them. So I dole them out sparingly because he doesn't write
Right.
them as fast as I read them. But I just read Flying Eagle, like one of
Oh
the
yeah.
war books. Like I love those, and
No, he's the modern master of war comics.
yeah, 100%.
Um, Actually, the story he just did in what Hello Darkness at Boom,
Yeah,
their
yeah,
anthology, that
yeah.
was fantastic as well. I
Oh,
think
great.
it's still got a couple installments to go, but I'm loving it.
All right.
All right, we're gonna because I know you got to go soon.
Sure.
We're gonna hit my favorite last question and
Okay.
the what wound up with me getting Kid Detective the last time. Um, and also, you guys were the ones that forced the door open to be more than comics because you gave me a comic recommendation. Amma was also great. And I can't believe that I'm saying this. I did read Teen Boat because
Team Boat's
Tyler,
great.
and surprisingly, it
It
is.
is great. It's not great. Yeah, like we joke about
I like
it.
don't have any idea how to recommend it to people because
Sure.
it's like
Well, it's for kids.
it's a teen and he's a
Yeah.
boat.
He's
No,
a boat.
I don't actually. I
It-
feel like it's for kids the way Archie is for kids.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, no,
So
Teen Boat,
not
we don't
entirely.
our love of Teen Boat would be really mean-spirited if we didn't actually love Teen Boat, if we didn't think it was good,
Right.
but we both think it's really good. Like the
Yeah.
name, we laughed at it and we made jokes about it, as I think you're supposed to do with the name. And then
Right.
one of us sat down and read it and was like, fuck, it's really good. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
No,
and
I
then
mean
we both read it and
the
we love it. Teen Boat's great.
the last time I had that kind of reaction to a comic was when I finally read Archie versus Predator, which
Hmm.
I should have noticed Alex DeCampi's name and
Hmm.
like just known even before I started reading. But like for the longest time, it's like Archie versus Predator, really? And finally I read it, I'm like, holy fuck.
Hmm.
This is really good.
So you want a recommendation for
Well,
a book?
specifically,
Okay.
I want something you love that
Hmm.
not enough other people have experienced, and you need them to, so you can talk to them about it. And like this time with Kid Detective, you actually wound up getting to talk to somebody new about it.
Sure. Yeah,
So, I mean,
yeah.
I might follow
Um,
up with you. I did read the first volume of Alma, and I keep meaning to read the other three. I did love it.
That's so good. Every volume is so different. Like he basically the story is the same, but it's like a total reimagining of the way the world works. And so it
Oh
really
God,
is
now I
like
really need to read
you
it.
sort of rediscover it every time. I love that book. Um, well, I want to recommend a comic. What is a comic that I truly love that not enough people are reading? That's a really good question. I read everything in trade.
That's
Um,
okay. I mean, it could be a graphic novel, it could be a
I
comic
don't
strip, it
I don't have
could be whatever.
my recent reads in front of me. They're in the other room.
Doesn't have to be new.
Um,
I mean, it can be.
let me do a movie.
Okay.
Start with a movie. And I would say my favorite movie the last 5, maybe 10 years, is After Sun. I think After Sun is like one of the most beautiful, heartbreaking powerful films I've ever seen, and everyone I know who saw it, yes,
Sun as in a male child, or sun as in an orb in the sky?
Orb in the Sky.
Cool.
Um, Everyone I know who saw it was like, "Oh, it's the one of the best movies I've ever seen." And you get like halfway in, and you're like, "Yeah, it's really good. One of the best movies ever." And then by the end, when you're just sort of in awe of just how it works. I mean, I've made a bunch of people. I made Kelly Thompson watch it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, it's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life." And I was like, "All right." And she was like, "Yeah, an hour
I
in, I thought you were
also love
joking."
Kelly's taste, so if she says that too,
Me and Kelly we were literally 10 minutes before I was on here. Ed Brisson messaged me. We have a Slack, and he was like, I have 2 hours. What should I watch? And me and Kelly both wrote After Sun at the same time. And he was like, no. He's like, stop talking to me about that. No. But he will watch it because we're gonna bully him into it. So After Sun is my movie pick. It's a beautiful and devastating movie, and very sweet and very sad and just wonderful. It's just a really quiet film that's really incredibly powerful. So that's my movie pick. My comic pick, um, I feel goofy saying not enough people read it because a ton of people read it, but I feel like no, you know what? I'm gonna go a different one. I'm gonna go a different one. It's out of print.
I want
Uh,
them both now, but
Well,
yeah.
okay. Well, the one I'm going to say is out of print, but you can find it because it was a Vertigo book, but it was late era Vertigo. And it's Josh Dysart and Alberto Ponticelli's run on Unknown Soldier. It's 4 volumes.
Okay. Yeah, I know that.
Um, it is to me, it's the perfect comic. It is just it changed my perspective of what comics could be. It changed my perspective of what comics should be. It is badass and cool and powerful and devastatingly thought-provoking, and like everything you think it is, it becomes something else. And it's just, and there's an issue. And I say this to people, and when people have read it, when I go, there's an issue, they all know exactly what I'm talking about. But there's an issue late in the series. I think it's in volume 4, but it might be in volume 3, that I'd put in the top 5 best comics ever made. Easily. Easily. I'd put it up there with whatever else is in people's canon of top 5 comics. I'd be like, I think that issue of Unknown Soldier, like you can just hand that to people, and uh that's all they need to know. So that's my pick. And then the other book I was going to say, which I feel a little goofy because I think a lot of people read it and a lot of people know it, and it's a touchstone to a ton of people, but is David Lapham's Stray Bullets. Stray Bullets is
Oh, I adore
uh
Stray Bullets.
yeah.
Uh, I have one piece of original art,
Oh yeah.
and it's a page from Stray Bullets.
That's awesome. That rules.
Yeah.
I have 3 pieces of original art, and 2 of them are Bendis pages. I
Oh,
have a page from Goldfish and a page from Jinx. Um,
wow.
but David Lapham Stray Bullets. I don't buy original art because I have
It was a gift to me. I didn't
it's
buy it
nice.
either.
I
It
don't.
was gifted by a friend of mine.
That's a very good gift.
I
That's a
mean,
very
I
good
may
friend.
have let him know that David Lapham was selling art at a discounted price. And I
Sure.
may have even like let him know that there was a specific page at a good price that
But yeah, that's a good, still a good friend. David is amazing. I got to work with him on Detective Comics for a little bit, and I tried really hard not to be like, you're one of the reasons I make comics. I think I just said it
David
in
has
passing.
caused me to spend way too much money on bad idea Kickstarters
Sure, yeah, yeah.
because
I
like I can't not.
Yeah, no, he's the best. He's the
For
best.
that
And
matter, the one now has a tier that you can get a one of one comic that he draws you into.
well, that's great.
And it's like, oh,
Yeah. Uh, we got David to do a cover for What's the First Place from Here, and that was a top 10 comic making moment for me, of
yeah.
just like, you know,
He's
he's
also one of my white whales. Reached out to him a few times and he hasn't gotten back to me about being on the podcast.
sure
I would really like to talk to David.
he's amazing. Yeah, he is just, you know, I'm very lucky in the people who have done covers for me. And I mean, obviously the artists I work with, I'm very blessed, but like I've had Alex Ross do a cover, I've had Jim Lee do a cover, I've had David do cover, I've had, a lot of my like put him on the pedestal, like this is the Mount
Yeah.
Rushmore of living, breathing comics people.
Uh,
So
I think the last time you guys were on, I complained about the number of impressive um variant covers that you had
oh,
during like the first 6 issues of what's the
sure, yeah.
first here, because I try really hard to only buy one cover of a given
Yeah.
comic.
Yeah, we
And I
were
think I think
on
I
every day.
might at this point have 5 of issue 1. I didn't buy them all together. It was more like for like a month and a half, I'd be in a different comic shop and go, "Oh, that looks amazing." And I go, "Oh God, it's another cover to What's the Furthest Place from Here, #1."
Yeah.
Well, I have it in the budget this week.
We have, well, we appreciate it. Yeah, I feel, I mean, I feel the same. I buy, people are always like, "Oh, you don't buy variant covers." I was like, "I do. I go and I hire artists. I give them thousands of dollars to make them for me because I think they're cool." Like I very much do. I give, I get Jenny Frison and Scotty Young and
Right,
Brian Bendis and Marcos Martin and stuff to go do covers
right.
because I think they're amazing people and amazing artists. So I get it. And I
Has
appreciate it. Thank
Bendis
you.
done a cover for you?
Yeah, Bendis did a cover for issue 1.
Oh wow, because he does
Yeah.
so little. Oh
It's the
wait, that's right. He did for issue 1. I think I
Yeah,
own
he did
it.
the pig mask, yeah.
I
It's the
think I
first
own
thing
it.
it's the first thing he'd drawn in like professionally in like more than a decade. Yeah. I took the shot, and I asked him, and I asked Ed Brubaker, and Ed was so kind and was like, "Oh man, I really like the book. I'm not gonna do that. Here's a pull quote." And I was like, "That's so kind of you, man," because Ed's one of my heroes and one of the
Right.
greats. And I asked Brian too, and Brian was like, "Yep." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't think you'd say yes." And he's like, "Why wouldn't I say yes?" And I was like, "Why would you?" And then he did it, and he was just great. I love Brian dearly. He is one of the reasons that I fell in love with comics. He's one of the reasons I make comics, and he is still one of the reasons I try and make my comics better. So
Right.
he's
Well,
the best.
that is fantastic. Last question, just because it just popped in my head. I can't believe we talked so little about What's the Furthest Place from Here. I'll have to drag you back again at
Sure.
some point because, like the last time we talked about it, there was 3 issues out, and now there
Hmm.
are what, 21?
2021. Yeah. We're working on 22 now,
Yeah,
so
something like that. Um, how long do you think you're going? Do you
31 or 32.
okay? So you have an end in mind and
Oh
kind of.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. We've always known the end, but we have the right before the end now. We know what it is.
Well, no, I knew that you'd always known the end because I think I asked that question last time,
Yeah, yeah.
but I think the last time you had no idea how
Yeah,
long
we
it
had
was
no
going to take
idea
to
what.
get to that end.
Yeah, yeah. We had certain benchmarks where there were certain places that were forks in the road where we were like, well, it could go here and we could get to the end of this, or we could go here. And we are playing out the longest scenario, which I'm
Okay,
very happy with because the readers of the book and the audience has been amazing and supportive. And so we got to tell the entire story we wanted to tell, which is, not something a lot of ongoing comics get to do these days. And so we're very
right,
incredibly lucky. I mean, we haven't done it yet, so it's a little bit
right.
knock on wood, but
You will, you will.
yeah, I mean, we have it all planned out, and Image is incredibly supportive, and we know what it is, and we're halfway through the 5th arc, and then there's just 6 arcs. So then once we get in the next couple of months, we'll be in the end game of the final story. So,
And are you slowly catching up with the vinyls, or did you
oh, they're all done.
abandon the vinyls because of, oh, they were only for the first,
It's first 7. Yeah, yeah.
it
There
was
was
just the
gonna
first
be
7.
we were gonna do it for the first 10, and by the time 3 was solicited, I canceled and I gave the bands their songs back, and I was like, no one can get records made. And all
Okay,
literally to their credit, all the bands were like, well, our record labels can't do anything with these songs either. No one can get vinyl out the door.
right.
And they're like, you can hold on to them. And I was like, nah, it's a headache. I appreciate it. I thank you for your time. I paid for the recordings and said, have a nice time. Take your songs. And some of the songs have come out and they've been awesome. And I bought them on other people's 7 inches and it's great. But yeah, it's just the 7, 1 through 7.
Okay.
So, and those are all out and available. And your local comic shop,
Yep.
should be able to get them, and if they're
I think I have
not,
most of them. I got to
it-
figure it out. I think I wound up accidentally getting a couple of them twice just because they were all over
around.
the place. And it's like, do I have this one? Or yeah,
Sure.
I'd run into them at the shop, and it's like, oh, I don't know
Yeah.
if I got this one.
Well, there you go. Well, thank you. Hopefully those will make
Oh,
nice Christmas presents for someone else.
exactly. Any chance of an LP?
No, literally, definitely no.
Definitely not.
That's something that we talked about early, and I was like, no, I just want to make this and do
I
this,
mean,
and
that would be the coolest version of the Super Deluxe Omnibus Edition. You shouldn't say definitely no
no,
yet.
I'm gonna say definitely no. We all the bands were really generous to give us these songs, and we just wanted them for the 7-inch and then to give them back. And I'm sure that they would all come back, and for the most part, maybe not, I don't know, but I don't speak for anyone, but they and say sure. But I just am no, the 7-inch is what it is. I like the idea of things that are fleeting. I like single issue comics. I like a 7-inch record. I like a thing
Right.
that exists to be itself and not part of a bigger thing. And we're gonna
That's
do
fair.
a big collection of the book
I,
probably someday,
I
but
yeah. I
that'll
have
be it.
mixed feelings on fleeting things. On one side,
Sure.
I get and on the other side, before you logged on, I just got a shipment from Kitchen Sink. Did you know that they made an educational comic in 1975
That looks awesome.
for the Wisconsin Department of Justice, funded by the
Uh-huh.
Office of Economic Opportunity in DC, and it was given to all high school seniors in the state of Wisconsin.
Sure.
Um, and like Dennis has, I think, still 100 or two of these, maybe, but once they're gone, that's it.
Yeah, yeah. I love
Yeah,
that. There's a romance to that. I think that's
I
great.
do. I mean, again, on one level, I do, and on the other side, like every once in a while, there's that thing that I'll hear about, and it's like that sounds amazing, and I never actually get to read it because I can never find it.
Sure. Sure. Well, we made a lot of records, so I think people will be able to find them.
So
You can go to ashcanpress.com and buy them if you want
yes,
them. For
I
a long
have
time.
gotten a couple of them that way.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
So,
it. And we're just gonna keep going with the book. And
and more books in the pipeline,
yeah,
and
volume 4 is out any day now, actually, which is
yeah,
a really fun one. I
I
just
think
got my
next
copies of it.
week.
Yeah, maybe next week, week
Yeah, I
after.
think next week.
I just got copies of it. It looks beautiful. Josh Hickson and Sweeney Boo and Ricardo Lopez Ortiz and Dylan Burnett all did issues, and they're gorgeous and very fun, and some of the most fun comics I've ever made. So I hope people check it out. It's a great place to
Yeah,
start if you've never read any of the book. Like you can start with volume 4, but then you have to go back to
you
volume
can
1.
actually.
Yeah, it's
I
all
I
world building stuff, and
I have happily read each issue as it comes out, often a couple of times, because
well, thank you.
you give me a lot of. There aren't a lot of writers or artists that I wind up saying that to. That is like your book came out and I had to read it twice this week.
Oh, it's because we make them confusing.
No, it's never that it's actually like I forget who I was recently talking to that was like, if I'm done with a comic in 5 minutes, that means it was a terrible comic. I'm like, no, it's only a terrible comic if you don't want to go back and read it again.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like I never take more than 5 minutes for my first read of Saga because I gotta get there.
Sure.
But then I gotta go back and pour over every ounce of Fiona's art.
Of course.
And I'm
Yeah.
kind of like that with What's Furthest Place from Here too. It's
I
like
have
I
every
gotta get through that story and then I gotta go back and see.
I have every issue of Saga in single issue. I have every trade, and I have the big nice hardcovers of Saga because you want to consume it and come back to it in
Me
different
too.
ways.
The
So,
only Saga that I don't have yet is the big phone book and
sure, I don't have that
the new
digest one. Yeah.
digest ones, and I'm kind of tempted to get the digests.
I don't need that. I'm happy for people to have
I know
it.
I don't need it.
Well, sure.
It's kind of like Love and Rockets, where I haven't completed my Love and Rockets single issue
Oh
yet,
yeah.
but I like am working on the single issue run. I'm working on the original
On like first
hardcover.
prints of all the just
I don't
buying
care
them.
if it's first print
Well,
or
like you could buy the box set. That's all of the.
I
first
have the
with
box set too.
Okay, so you want
I have the box set. I have
Mhm.
most of the most of the new library editions. I have most of the original hardcover graphic novels. I'm about halfway through the single issues.
Sure.
And yeah, no, it's just another one of those things. It's like, I love this so much. I want every version they did.
Sure. I'll get
And
that.
thankfully they've overall done little enough over like 40 years that it mostly fits in a short box.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, they've done a lot, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. For single issues, yeah. If you're not reading those
Right.
OGNs, especially if you're not counting those OGNs that they do, that
Right.
some of them are on that shelf right there.
Yeah.
Gentlemen,
So
this has been a pleasure.
It's been fantastic. And hopefully we'll talk again. I can't wait to see
Yes.
what comes next. I'm looking forward to seeing more of.
We're taking everyone with us.
I wanted two things I wanted to say. First, Unknown Soldier may be out of print, but it is on DC Universe.
Yes, good. Read it. Everyone read it. Go read it right now.
So it is available digitally, or at least parts of it are.
And then buy it. Find it online. It's not going to be that much money.
Well, yeah.
Buy it used.
I guess it's the first 6 issues are available.
Okay. There's 4 volumes, so it's like 24 in there, 20, 25, 23, 26 issues somewhere in there.
The comic shop that sold me on DC Vampires is Downtown Comics in Castleton.
Oh, sure, yeah, Downtown Comics.
Outside of Indianapolis.
Great. Love them.
And
I bought books from there myself. I bought books from there many times.
And the day after my birthday, March 26th, is when people can pick up the first issue of We're Taking Everyone Down With Us. And you think I'm kidding, but you will almost certainly get an email from me that week saying, hey, you said this was all done. Can I see the PDFs? It's my birthday, remember?
It's your birthday. That's fair. I will be.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably be buying it as it comes out. So
no, I will absolutely. I mean, like, I know getting the PDF does not make me less likely to pay you.
No,
I swear to God, Matthew.
I'm not worried about your money.
I won't be seeing it until it comes out. I'm not trying to ride on Tad's coattails. And I am excited about 4 Kids Walk Into a Bank, the movie, and really enjoyed the comic.
Is that
thanks,
I didn't see any release date yet. Is
we're not
this year, or
I'm not. I don't think I'm supposed to say that.
Okay, that's fair.
It'll come out. People will know when it's coming out.
It will come out one day.
It's a big enough thing that people will hear about it. Yeah, it's
2032, 23. Yeah. Liam decided that he wants it as his funeral.
No, it'll be my funeral.
Whoa. He is 72. I just at the bottom of the IMDb page for 4 Kids Walking in the Bank, there's an interview with, or a link to an interview with Liam Neeson where he says he needs to stop doing action movies because he's 72.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He's kicking ass.
Yes. So for 22 panels, this has been Matthew Rosenberg. We will see you after the next page.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from 22 Panels. I'm here to tell you all about our Patreon. If you enjoy this show, please consider donating to our Patreon to keep this show going. We have many different tiers, all different levels to help you decide what's right for you. Okay, so get on out there to patreon.com/22 Panels Podcast.